Hello, I'm a man in my 40s living in Busan, South Korea. What I'm about to share is a chilling experience from about 10 years ago, when I was newly married. It was a moment that shattered my trust in people and taught me how unpredictable human nature can be. This memory still lingers, a deep scar that makes me question what it means to trust anyone. 10 years ago, my wife and I took out a hefty loan to move into a spacious apartment in a vibrant neighborhood in Busan. The burden of debt was heavy, but the thrill of owning our own home outweighed it all. Decorating our new place together felt like a return to the bliss of our honeymoon days. The glowing city lights outside our window, my wife's laughter echoing in the living room. Every moment was precious. Then, an unexpected connection formed. A new coworker, Minjae, turned out to live right downstairs in our building. Sharing the same workplace and apartment complex, we quickly bonded. Our shared love for working out led to evenings at the local gym, where our conversations became a source of energy for me. One day, over lunch at the company cafeteria, Minjae approached me cautiously. "Hyung, got a minute for coffee? I've got something personal to talk about." Curious but slightly uneasy, I followed him to a nearby cafe. With warm Americanos in hand, Minjae hesitated before speaking. "Hyung, I'm planning a small housewarming this weekend. I didn't want to invite the whole team. It's too much. Would you and your wife like to come over for dinner? I've already mentioned it to my wife." His eyes were sincere and I smiled. "Sure, it's your call, Minjae. I'll keep it quiet from the others at work." Back home, I shared the plan with my wife. "Honey, you know Minjae, my junior at work. He's invited us for dinner this Saturday. You free?" She looked surprised. "A housewarming? Are others coming too?" "No, he wants to keep it small. Just us." She nodded with a smile, and I felt a warm sense of anticipation. That Saturday evening, we rang the doorbell at Minjae's place. His wife, Sujin, greeted us, a new face for me, just as my wife was for Minjae. The table was set with carefully prepared dishes, but the conversation felt stilted. Sujin's smile seemed forced, and Minjae was quieter than usual. I brushed it off as the awkwardness of meeting new people, but an unsettling feeling began to follow me. A few days later, I came home earlier than usual. My wife, who rarely left the house due to her depression, wasn't there. Maybe she's at the market, I thought, settling onto the couch. Then the door opened, and her face went pale when she saw me. "You're home early? You startled me." Her voice trembled. Concerned, I asked, "What's wrong? Something happened?" She avoided answering, retreating to the bathroom and locking the door. After a long pause, she emerged and said hesitantly, "I was just having coffee downstairs." "Downstairs? Minjae's place?" "Yeah, Sujin's around my age and we really clicked. We're planning to hang out more." At first, I was relieved. My wife's depression had kept her isolated, and I hoped connecting with someone would lift her spirits. That hope soon turned to unease. Her visits downstairs became frequent, and then she dropped a shocking bombshell. "I want to sleep over at their place." "What are you talking about? You sleep at home. Don't go there so often." It might bother Minjae, even if he doesn't say it. She lowered her gaze and nodded, but I caught a flicker of defiance in her eyes. I grew so anxious that I started checking her location during video calls. She seemed to improve, but it was an illusion. I later learned she'd been lying, sneaking downstairs behind my back. Exhaustion set in as suspicion and anger built inside me. At work, Minjae was still his cheerful self, but his smiles began to feel hollow. I found myself avoiding him, torn between guilt and distrust toward my wife. His presence grated on me, even during routine work tasks. About a month into this tension, a cryptic text arrived while I was at the office. "Don't tell anyone, but please call me." My heart sank. It was Sujin. Her voice was urgent over the phone. "Can we meet at a cafe today? Please don't tell my husband." Dread gnawing at me, I agreed to meet her at lunch. At the cafe, Sujin's expression was serious, but she quickly deflected with a strange, light-hearted comment. "Your wife's been coming over a lot, and we've gotten close. She mentioned things aren't great between you two. I don't mind her visits, so don't feel bad. Just work things out with her." Confused, but assuming she was just concerned about our marriage, I thanked her. "Thanks for letting me know. I've been a bit hard on her, and I feel bad about it." That evening, I brought home my wife's favorite tteokbokki and chicken. We sat down, talked through our misunderstandings, and cleared the air. For a moment, it felt like everything was resolved, but that night, my phone buzzed in the early hours, waking me. It was a text from Sujin. "Fancy a drink? Just the two of us?" My stomach dropped. The message was wildly inappropriate. Fearing my wife might see it, I deleted it without replying. But similar texts kept coming, night after night, growing bolder. I considered telling Minjae but hesitated, worried about destroying their marriage. Trapped in a web of secrecy, I felt cornered. The real nightmare hit the next evening. Returning home sweaty from a workout, I found Sujin sitting in our living room. My wife was in the kitchen preparing food, and Sujin said casually, "Minjae's under the weather, so he's resting. Your wife invited me for dinner. Hope that's okay." Her audacity paired with those late-night texts made my blood boil, but I swallowed my anger. Dinner was unbearable. Food stuck in my throat as Sujin's gaze kept drifting toward me. My wife, usually talkative, was oddly quiet. As I waited for Sujin to leave, my wife suddenly said, "Honey, I'm running to the store. I'll be quick." "Want me to come?" "No, I'm good." The door closed, leaving me alone with Sujin. She sat on the couch, crossing her legs with a sly smile, as if she'd been waiting for this moment. As she leaned closer, her hand reaching out, my body froze. "Why so tense? Just relax." Her voice was low, seductive, but my instincts screamed danger. "Sujin, this isn't right." I pushed her away and bolted outside. The cold night air calmed my racing thoughts, but the sting of betrayal lingered. After wandering the neighborhood, I resolved to confront Minjae. As I approached his door, ready to ring the bell, it opened, and there was my wife, stepping out from his apartment. Her face was ashen, her eyes unsteady. "Why? Are you here?" She stammered, unable to continue. I grabbed her arm, my voice sharp. "What's going on? Why are you coming out of Minjae's place?" She hung her head, silent, her refusal to speak tearing my heart apart. Minjae invited me inside and we sat in his living room. His face was contorted with shame and regret. As he began, voice trembling, "Hyung, I'm so sorry. We made a terrible mistake." He confessed that he and Sujin, obsessed with spicing up their marriage, had agreed to swap partners for thrills. They'd targeted us, and my wife had fallen for Minjae's advances, secretly engaging in an inappropriate relationship. Sujin had sent those late-night texts to lure me in, even showing up at our home to create opportunities. Worst of all, my wife had deliberately left me alone with Sujin to facilitate her own meetings with Minjae. As Minjae spoke, my ears rang, and the world seemed to collapse. My wife's betrayal, their twisted scheme, it felt unreal. Anger, grief, and a deep fear of people consumed me. Minjai apologized profusely, but his words offered no comfort. That night, I sat with my wife for one final conversation. She sobbed, begging for forgiveness, but I couldn't bear to look at her. Trust was shattered, love reduced to ashes. We divorced, and I left that apartment behind, along with everything it represented. 10 years later, I'm still alone. Strolling by Busan seaside, those memories crash over me like waves. Loneliness has become familiar, but trusting others remains a struggle. I question every small gesture, instinctively building walls when anyone gets close. The world is full of strange people. Learn from my pain and tread carefully. That's my story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Until next time, thank you.